Welcome to our continuation of the Splatoon 3 single-player story mode campaign. In the previous session, we completed pretty much 100% of what was available in number 1 and 2, sites 1 and 2 out of 6 in the overworld here. I believe it actually registers currently at 99% if I check the companion app, because as you can see from the green areas of interest here, I haven't quite gotten back to dig up all of the treasures of interest and collect all of the different categorical check marks. We're definitely missing some kind of treasure on this map and something to dig up as well over here. But I have in the meantime mapped things out in the interim since the last stream, just to cover some things that are perhaps less fun and interesting to watch. Picked up a couple of collectibles along the way, but we have shown off every level so far, and we'll be continuing with the stages as our first priority in World 3, Cryogenic Hopetown, starting now. It's been a few days since I played the campaign. We've been playing a fair bit of multiplayer in the meantime, though, getting up to Professional in Salmon Run, and just need to get back to this. We'll do the essential path over to the levels first, I think, and happen upon these little side paths later, just to make sure that we can afford the more expensive unlocks. There are 2 more pipes way back there. Yes, there are. You mean the pipes that take us to further worlds? But in the meantime, let's see what we're looking at. Here's kettle number 1, but we'll see if we can afford this one already. Yes, we can, so just need to get comfortable with controlling Small Fry again as he runs around and searches for treasure that I may or may not be unburying. Seems like a lot of what he doesn't cover on the map, though, are just additional power eggs. Not really anything too critical when he's digging in spots that are not actually visible. But yeah, we've got a couple of pads over here that allow me to burst everywhere. We'll go back to the kettle, of course. Let's unlock the kettles along the way so we mark them on the map and have them as teleportation points, lest we forget to do so later. Proceed with caution, Agent 3. Yeah, it looks like we can probably... not yet. 400 over there, 100 over there. If we complete the path, then we eventually take all the boost pads on the way back over. And that's just going to be a return path. Anyway, Small Fry is going to dunk himself in the water. Not very clever. No, there's something interesting he wants to show me. I like this protruding object over here, which is certainly something. I have to see how much sardinium I'm sitting on. We currently have 2 pieces. I'm preferring to save up to 4 so we can unlock some of the more interesting categories. So save it at 3 perhaps, or 4. And then we'll see how we go, whether we just continue breadth first and unlock all of the things that have been trunk, or if we find something else we'd rather do instead. That's not Joy-Con drift, it's just ice. 300 over there, 400 over there. I mean, no point in going for 300 yet, although you'll notice that's going to be the debarkation point for the balloon popping challenge with green balloons that do consistently get us access to one of the scrolls. And it looks like I was wrong that sometimes you can uncover something that is exclusive to Small Fry, revealing it on the map. That is actually a meaningful and tracked collectible. And yeah, a lot of things to reveal already about this. No, let's not run into that. And we'll open up a couple of kettles. We won't do the stages just yet, but we'll get there eventually. We'll just try to pop open everything we can. Of course, budgetarily, we'll be running into a couple of limits with that soon, and that's just revealing the red spot over there. That's okay, plenty of things we can still do regardless, without having to unlock any additional paths just yet. Yeah, pretty quick to pick up various objects over here. 500, we can certainly afford it. Now, do we want to? Yes, because it looks like it unlocks the route to an additional stage. So again, that's what we'll prioritize as we explore a little more of the map. And we'll just blast open everything we can. Do we need to scout anything from this locale? Probably not. I mean, we see a couple of kettles that are also protruding up high, which we'll need to reach accordingly. And yes, 2 pipes coming out of this section. So it looks like we have a choice afterwards of whether to unlock Worlds 4 or 5, perhaps. Which, if you look at the map... Yeah, Site 4, Site 5, that is about what I expected. We were told that in a text much earlier, of course. And yeah, more kettles over there. We can probably explore a little bit. As you can see, we're starting to run a little low on cash. And it looks like there are a couple of different green balloons that you can start with. This is not the starting point we were looking at earlier, so perhaps there are multiple scrolls that are going to be tied to shooting challenges that we'll pursue once we've unlocked most of the bulbs that are obstructing my way. I think now is probably a good time to go back and then you can see where this leads us, of course. I really have no expectation that we'll be able to catch up to it, but it looks like the point here is to catch up to it, the platforms, whenever possible. And that's going to float his way up into the sky and come back. And yeah, you have to kind of cut momentum there to take a nice clean shot and then rotate to the next one after that. And my little buddy keeps finding things. We'll actually pay attention to him from time to time this time around because it's potentially a bit of a pain to scrape the map at the very end when you don't know a single piece that we're missing, although certainly I just noticed a green highlight on the map locations that have yet to be explored, so maybe that'll be something interesting. I'm glad there's no penalty for this because I am continuing to accidentally run into the fur with alarming frequency. Anyway, let's go. Climbing the corporate splatter, take down Octarians, and climb to the goal. Looks like this will be up first. Let's do it. Okay, hero gear. The splatling might be interesting. Got an extra 100. But we're just getting a little warmed up here. No, we'll go splatling. Why not? Do something a little riskier. It's been a while since I played splatling. Just have an extremely lengthy charge time, which isn't going to be too bad an idea against the CPU-controlled Octarians, perhaps. As long as our ink management is somewhat reasonable. And yeah, really long charge time. We don't need to charge it up all the way, of course, if we just want to ink the place. But if we want to pop the enemies, yeah, even a second tier charge is plenty by the looks of it. Anyway, not too much to look at. Otherwise, we could potentially collect a couple of power eggs. And that's simple enough. This one too. Not exactly setting any speed records here, but for first play, that's really not the point, I should hope. And yeah, quick reactions in situations like that are a bit of a weakness for all the splatling style weapons. Okay, long charge up time, but we have an Ink Storm. I bet we can use it. Can't take that much damage, surely. And you got a pretty long reach on this weapon, which is good. We're doing some counterplay. And that's the whole gang almost. Small Fry notices something down below. Okay, might as well just continue. All the way up. Good opportunity to use the new burst power, taking you all the way up the tower. It's been pretty situational in multiplayer so far. Apart from that one tower boss in Salmon Run. Okay. Let's see. A good weapon for this situation, as long as you can walk past projectiles. Anything interesting here? Nope, just cash. Unless you really want to plug in the special instead. Okay, that's good. Nothing much more to see. That's the stage. Alright, pretty straightforward. Pretty big infusion of cash as well. So we can continue to proceed. Unlock some things along the way, perhaps. Including that balloon debarkation point, but like I said, let's take our pick of the stages first. And come back and sweep afterwards. Try curling, Alterna's 11th most popular athleisure activity. Yep, highly competitive around here, especially because, well, I mean, here in Alterna is very often winter, but maybe you can't say the same for other places that depend so heavily on curling bombs. Anyway, all curling bombs, yeah, we can do it. Just gotta watch the ink. Okay, stand on it. Ah, okay. And yeah, let's do this. Looks like we do need to improve our trajectory somehow. It is not going very far. Interesting. Let's see if we can improve this somehow. Yeah. There is a bit of speed control. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, you have to watch the arrows. They kind of give you a sense of what the optimal range is. And it seems like it's your timing that matters. And we'll see if that's the case. Okay, all done. Anyway, we'll need to be a lot more precise. Slide them in and swim along with them. Gotta get some ink. Okay, good enough. tightrope. Oh, this thing. Okay. Okay, I just need to hit the optimal pocket. Can't go too late or too soon. Just a single lob throw. Looks like it might almost be doing the trick. Our aim will need to be quite a lot better, though, and aiming does slow me down a bit. And okay, that's one. Actually, getting the other ones to behave might be a bit of a taller order, unless, of course, I just get over there myself. But regardless of what loadout you take, curling bombs are going to be the essential element here, so you do need to plan around that accordingly. And I can't just walk it because of the restriction on standing on the pad in order to lower defense. Yeah, still not quite hitting pocket. It's not quite a hold. Not quite a click. Well, the click works pretty reasonably, in fact. There we go. Didn't quite get them all at once. No, unfortunately not. Wonder if there would have been a bonus. Very well could be. Okay, on a checkpoint. We're supposed to paint something. And there we go. Oh, I see. Ricochet it so it can blow up the blocks on the other side. Not quite. Some pretty poor deflections all around. Not quite. That's what happens when you keep revising the visitation protocols for successive presidents. Nope. Oh, we gotta solve this. There we go. What is this? I'm going to release something, but what? Okay, that actually stabilizes pretty well. There we go, all one hits. Alright. Right down to center. Yeah, we'll need to slow it down a little, I think. Maybe not that much. And we'll try it again. Well, I'd hate to speedrun it. Kind of way off proper oscillation. It doesn't need to go up there necessarily, but it will get splatted by the blue if I send it in the middle, I think. Or no, maybe not. It'll just get pushed. Yeah, we're sending everything through the middle and it's not actually necessary to take away the ancillary royals. Nope. Not quite. Just sweep it all over the place. There we go. Speed record on this must be interesting to watch. Okay. Nope. Need to do a nice firm throw with good timing. Let's wait for it. Okay. Not unreasonable. At all, in fact. Anyway, yeah, let's light this thing up. So much for the curling. Could have gone a lot better, but we'll take it. Okay, now next stage. And yeah, we've got tons of cash at this point. Let's just unlock a couple of different things at once. Lots to see. Oh, just treasure over here. Nothing too special, apparently. Let's lift him up a level. And he's got something right on target. Okay. They said we'd have flying cars, and we do, kind of. Yeah, simulated skyborne commuter scenario. I expect lots of falls. Well, the rewards are about equivalent. Let's just stick with hero gear for now. Yes, we need some snappy targeting along the way. Keep an eye on the sky. Hitch a ride to the goal. What's in the sky? Oh yeah, the sky. Airplanes everywhere. Oh, just Zeppelins must have a weak spot. Let's see here. Looks kind of familiar. There are a couple of mechanics in the Splatoon 2 campaign that are very much like this, I believe. Anyway, take it down. And you. Whoa, no. The jump got kind of saggy a bit because I was swimming in the enemy ink for a moment. Didn't realize that and just corrected a little bit too late. Anyway, we just dodged this straight up. Don't think we are missing anything too critical. Always worth checking, of course, because sometimes that's exactly the kind of location where a special collectible might be hidden. And what do we got here? Same idea. And checkpoint. Okay. Pretty straightforward so far. After we wait for this bombardment to happen. And what do we have? No fair, the goal is right there, but we can't reach it. Well. Oh, I see that goal, yeah. Well, let's hitch a ride at the next one. Can it be sprayed? Not really. But we'll see. Alright, let's await transport. And on the wings we go. And yeah, you can in fact ink that, except that's a bad idea. You don't want to shoot your own platform into oblivion. That was in fact a terrible idea. Destroying my own chances of survival like that. Not a smart move. Okay. Alright. Just need to maintain focus here and not blow up anything that's actually turned out to be essential. I guess we bypassed the Gretzky pass already. Let's see. Or at least that was what came to mind. Splashdown, which I only just noticed after the game's launch, was actually no longer available in the multiplayer. Splashdown has pretty much been superseded by the Reef Slider. Anyway, we've got a checkpoint over here. What are we looking for then? We have a couple of things to do. Well, that seemed to be the last major station. Let's see what we can do. I have to keep remembering that I'm not in the overworld. I don't quite have the same access to menu functionality that I would ordinarily be accustomed to. I guess we just go up in a dinosaur segment instead. Oh, nope. There we go. Close call there. And back up. Okay. Some crates. Anyway, back to here. The goal's right there. Let's see what we've got in store. Take this all the way over, perhaps? Or is there a reason not to? We'll find out, because a couple of things that we need to dodge along the way, and then we'll see how the landscape has changed. Okay, let's try it again. And yeah, just some bodied heads everywhere. Now we can probably get past this just challenge that stymied me so earlier. Whoa, just wasn't even looking at that. And we are way back down. That's quite a fall. Alright. Big restart. And once again, let's not blow up our own platforms if we do come to rely on them. And save your ink for a long, long time. So whoops, nope. Let's get a list. And yeah, fortunately, so much for his shorts. I thought they were around the bend. And it'll be up to grab the zapfish, but do we want to do that? Not necessarily. Farther away where we can get higher up. Yeah, we've seen this bit before. We'll just push on. Oh, okay. Actually, you have to watch where I'm dodging. Imagine that. They never taught us pilots to do that. Actually, dodging rockets and other dangerous goods from time to time. Oh, I expected to get that right in the face. Okay. Whoa, just walked right off of that. That was not a case of playing very well at all, actually. Anyway, let's start over here instead of just walking off. Just being a little bit inattentive, perhaps. And we'll push up. You would think by now that long-term compromises would have been discovered. Okay. Same routine as before. Oh, no. Once again, can't really just hesitate on those jumps. We need to go straight for it. Okay. Rather sloppy play today. I mean, it may just be that I'm rather more tired than I bargained for when I decided that this would be a streaming day. That's okay, that happens. Decisions with consequences, mention that. So we can go back, but might as well remember that we are in a stage, not in a hub. That's one crucial thing that I kind of forgot. Just by acclimatizing with time. Rather dangerous to lose sight of who you are. That's very much plot of Splatoon 3 anyhow. Okay, here we go. And let's not die to anything really silly this time. Had that point before. That's okay, finally made that jump. Whoop. Farther away before we can get high up? Yeah, we've been here before, so just trying to keep track of our orientation here. Has been a little wilder this map than it has been on many others. Oh no, once again, just gotta watch where we're going. Actually, it does kind of remind me of certain segments of Mario Odyssey as well. Yeah, sinking down into the ink is the best solution that requires the least guesswork. But let's go back to seeing what we've already inked. Now, this was a tower climb, though. This was where I'd already signified there was trouble. Well, we can try inking it again. Let's see what happens. Everybody's going to zip on by. And they'll continue. Goal's right below me, yeah. Took way too long for such a simple level. Did I miss collectibles? Oh, almost certainly. Again, let's not confuse this stage with the general world map when it comes to unlocking gates or anything else. Well, we kind of have flying cars. Maybe they're quite safety rated just yet, but I think that'll suffice for now. And we'll see what's next. Okay, might as well just go one unlocked stage at a time until we see some more. There are quite a few more. Oh. Ink rails, yeah, we'll do it. Let's see if we still remember how to ride these things. And moreover, land on them in squid form to catch them to the best of our ability. Blaster and Splattershot. I think we'll take Splattershot in case there are any distant targets. Okay. Go ahead and ink it up. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Ink rail hopping. Yeah, we can do it. Then, interesting. Well, let's see. Open that up. Let's just open everything else up. Then we can actually jump between these levels. Or so I thought. Okay. So let's zone out here. Let's take a look at what needs to be done. Something I can plug in, perhaps. Nope. It's just pure jumping. Then, yeah, just cling, cling, cling. Revised animations, same old tricks. Okay, this will be a bit of a challenge. Luckily, most of it doesn't matter to me too much, so let's watch and see how it goes. Let go of that, and then... oh, yeah. Okay. Got the gate down, but not the original colony. Okay. Let's see everything disappear. I bet I could jump it too. Yeah, nope. That's the way to do it. And then, yeah, we'll try to find an appropriate entry point. I can always throw myself off a little bit just by veering in the wrong direction. Okay. Yeah, it took me a moment to realize my cursor was still on my character there in the previous music video. And then... okay. There we are. Well, either you like this style or you don't. I rather like the makeshift stack of hot dogs. Anyway, lots more to go. Let the ink rails lead the way. With the ink rails, where are you? Let's find it. Sure, can't be the one across. World. Well, let's see. Oh yeah, bombs, of course. Very time-consuming little things. Nope. And we'll wait. Oh, nope. Seems like a bit of a drift death there. Slipping off the end like that. One life left to give here, though. Ink rails, where are you? Nope. I mean, if you look at a shrine, it does have the characteristic triple there, triple rings. And, oh, there we go. Couldn't quite see from this perspective that that was actually an origin point for the stream broadcasts. find out what that is. Just cash. And yeah, it's fine. I mean, not fine necessarily, but will do. Anyway, microwaves are downstairs. Okay. Anyway, let's focus here. And the more you think about it, the more you can see the logic behind that kind of scam. Ink rail to nowhere, and not nowhere. Resources. Okay. Let's see here. What materially actually changed? I guess that other one stopped swirling around, so that means I can circumfine the goat again. Oh. Ah, nope. Rails over there on that side. We'll take that instead. Spatial awareness is perhaps not my forte today. And that does it. Okay. Okay. All the way here, so let's see how we proceed. And sure, I will take it. Where shall I launch? Anywhere I like. Okay. Whoops, nope. Hang on. Don't know how that got expended. If it were something with an obvious answer, surely we would have received one by now, so... Writing assumption is that is not obvious. Okay, let's see. Blanking out on everything here. Yeah, you probably do need to rotate those in. Or just, whoops, no. Hang on. Yeah, you can jump, but you can't actually fire, so... Well... Maybe if we use the fire to burst... Whoa. Did you make the game possible? Yes, you did. Anyway, that's our destination ultimately. Maybe we just need to bomb it a bit and create a rail. That's certainly one solution. Okay, that's fine. One final checkpoint. Well, let's not get sniped. And we'll drop in these guys with the secrets that Square is running. I'm not too concerned about things getting in the way. At least not at the moment. Alright, so I got that. And we've got a whole lot of pumpkins in the patch. We'll just follow it on the way down and see where it's in communication. Looks like it's probably going to be the standee. Whoa! Didn't even look at that. And we got a fee now because we're not at the first checkpoint. Kind of tempted to start. On the other hand, I am clearly a little too tired to play this at the moment, so we might wind up doing a shorter segment after all and come back when I'm a little more alert. Oh, we probably should have just paid up to continue a checkpoint, given that we need to wager some anyway, but let's try to be more attentive to our surroundings this time and just try to play smoothly. Okay, so... $49 over here. Yeah, okay. Let's go up and... let's try it again a little more efficiently this time. Just try to demonstrate how to play this properly. And we'll just double rail this until it's time to drop, of course, and then we'll try to maintain a good sense of where we are. So we remain in squid form to get on the rails within close proximity once again. So, oh, that worked out somewhat well. That wasn't great, but here we are. Now, what was so difficult about that? Anyway, back to this section. Yeah, let's bomb that. I said let's bomb that. Okay. Over here. Press that down. And we'll jump around from time to time as we just rush right into him. And up we go. Okay. Oh, no. I don't know why I've been just slipping with everything today. Actually, I know exactly why. It's just fatigue, mostly. So, might not be as stream-worthy today as I had hoped. Or just perhaps not really properly warmed up. Could be either. And then, yeah, let's get over here. And then zap everything in sight. And over here, yeah, that's the continuation. We have one over here as well, maybe. And they connect through the rail in the middle, so not too much of a concern either way. An ink rail to nowhere. It's just money. Unless, of course, we... well, I mean, we can jump up and bomb the place properly. There we go. Now we know what we're doing. Okay. Final checkpoint. I don't think it even registered for me necessarily that was final. Okay, we are in pretty big trouble. Yeah. To keep moving in order to dodge the snipers. Whoa, hang on. And yeah, if we get slowed down, it becomes a bit of a problem. We want to retry from final checkpoint. It's going to be the same cost either way. This is one of the... actually, the only stage so far that I've had burn continues in, but then we've had a lot of very unfortunate deaths along the way, just falling into things and tripping and just making a mess in general like that. Whoa, look at that. Double hit. And that's alright. The cash involved in power eggs is pretty inconsequential at this point. Now, backing out into that isn't going to work when I'm slow. I am going to need to dodge that a little better. Possibly get some jumps in there. If I can, whoops, see my time again. You see, once again, just ramming in everything. Unnecessarily. Easily the worst I've done in the entire campaign so far, but then, you know, sometimes there's an off day, and we're just not going to be playing too well, apparently. Alright, let's lead them if we can. I just need to maintain speed in a given direction, and the thing is, the problem is that we haven't really had that opportunity to get past here, and then we'll just try to rush through now. Excellent. Much, much better. Okay, at long last, we finally got that under control. Took long enough. There we go. Now, what was so difficult about that? Except we just completely bungled that one. Well, that's a bit of a wake-up call. In a literal sense, a call to wake up and actually get some alertness back into our system. Okay, so let's see here. We will just proceed to another stage then. 800 down here, we can certainly afford it. We're actually sitting on a fair bit of cash all of a sudden after a couple of levels, so we'll see if he's going anywhere interesting. Oh, just over to that element on the other side. We would have to jump over there, though, or land towards it, since we probably can't make it this way. Nope, didn't think so. Or just unlock some of this stuff in the middle. But we'll see what actually works. We'll be unlocking each of the stages anyway. It shouldn't be much of an issue. Being through that one already. Let's see. We could go to any kettle we like. We had unlocked a few over on the right side, but we can do a few more. Make sure we just clear a path to some of the stages that we've already seen. Maybe make some of the paths a little more efficient in the meantime. Not really spending money on much else right now. Okay, let's pop it. And finally, scroll number 8. In very rare cases, oh, I guess this is small fry lore. It explains why small fry is your little pet here, rather than somebody just randomly splatting in the middle of Salmon Run. Their wandering quest to return home can lead to prolonged starvation and an insatiable appetite. Luckily, I'm feeding him plenty. He's just nipping away at everybody in sight. Okay, so we got kettle over here. We'll definitely take that. Time trial and errors. Let's do it. Okay. Destroy all targets within 1 minute. Now, Squiffer... yeah, everything's giving you a few tips at least. We might try it with a Squiffer. We haven't done much sniping in this campaign so far. It is classed as the hardest weapon here, but we could certainly try it. Nozzle Note has been ages since I've used that. I've barely used it in Splatoon 2. Let's go Squiffer. Why not? Okay, break all the targets, and then the timer only starts once you land, so... yeah, you don't need a full charge and everything. For the most part, in fact, it's really advisable if I don't do that. Some tap shots would be fine. Maybe going a little bit slow on it, though. Luckily, I don't need to travel too much if I'm playing a sniper. We're not taking advantage of piercing through targets, though. Look, I'm way behind pace now. I'm not piercing anything, actually, and we're way down on time. 13 seconds left. We're not even through half yet, so... Yeah, we actually need to tap, aim, and pop as much as we can. Okay, just need to completely change the approach. Completely change the approach. Well, that's what you get of you. Deliberately choose to play Squiffer on this one. Yeah, no need to charge and everything. Okay. And then... that should be okay. Yeah, still way behind par when it comes to time. Okay, just need to eliminate clusters at a time, and we are still way below par. Yeah, spam firing the sniper weapon is maybe not that bright. Okay, this is doable. It's just that we have been making a bit of a fiasco out of it so far. Yeah, the tap shot in the Squiffer isn't going to get that much range, so we do need to watch out to make sure. And within range, we just need to watch the targeting reticle more carefully. Not going to be a lot of room for error for misses here. We'll recharge as we go for the next approach. And there we go, single shot there. We do need to shoot in clusters from time to time, like here. I think we're going to go way too slow otherwise. Yeah, Charger's going to be a tough one here. That's okay, we kind of deliberately asked for that. We'll stay on it for a while for a couple of attempts. We should use the bomb as well. Yeah, we'll see if we can clean it up. Definitely choosing the hard weapon here. Okay. At least there isn't going to be too much travel time, but we do need to remember to ink up. Not spend quite so much time doing stuff like that. Aiming distant shots are not going to quite make it. Okay. "16 seconds. Yeah, no, we're still way behind. I think this probably calls for a weapon switch if we hit the continue point again after 3 failures. Yeah. I have to use the bomb in a couple of places, and we're just not using it at all. So, probably for some of the clusters of 3, we'll try to bomb our way out of that. First bomb does require a certain amount of accuracy, and it's going to be a big ink consumer, obviously. We'll just remember to actually recharge from time to time. Okay, triple shot there. Very important to get stuff like that. No, still not close. Too many mistakes. It's probably much easier with one of the other weapons, but we'll do things the hard way just because. Oh, this is going to be a failure already, I can tell. We did run into some ink refresh issues last time. We just need to be aware of that. And good practice for the balloon popping minigame, of course, in the hub world itself. Wasting a lot of time chasing that guy down. That's repeatedly been an issue on a couple of attempts. Okay. Nope, still way out. Let's try it. Let's just switch a weapon. This one's not quite going. So, that's definitely one that's going to be a challenge to look out for when we do eventually try to clear these with all available weapons, which we may or may not do. Okay. And then, what happened? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah. One we just need to swim forward. Should have an easier time with it though. Less downtime, less ink consumption. Just need to swim in a little closer. Automatic fire obviously is a big deal if you have poor aim. It's going a lot better. You were complete whiffs and when you're playing Charger. Yeah, it's a significantly greater challenge with Charger. This one felt completely trivial this time. Well, that's okay. I mean, we'll occasionally try to do things the hard way. And that's just how it's going to go. Okay. Now we've unlocked a little more here and there. Let's try to open up some other spots on the map. Spots like those that really present a bit of an obstruction to some kind of platforming sequence that would be able to take you up. Yeah, I guess if you jumped in like that, you can go wall to wall. And there you are. Simple enough. And we're back here. So, familiar territory. With a little extra prize in the middle, of course. Anyway, there's some kind of treasure in there, but let's unblock this first. Let's not forget to do it. And what do you got for me, small fry? Let's pop you open. And there's more. Well, he's been hunting all over the place. Anyway, this eventually will be chasing. We've seen that location before. We'll just have to think about that as we go. Okay, pop. And plenty more to keep in the bank for future upgrades. Yeah, things are popping up everywhere. Still haven't figured out where the gold records even go, but we'll sort that out as we play. Anyway, sitting on a fair bit of cash though, so we'll probably have to keep up with that over time. But for now, we'll just indulge. And yeah, let's pop this. Okay, surely that's gotta be enough to open some things up now. You got 4, you can open up a couple of different things. Some offensive capability. Curling bombs. Yeah, something that's generally accessible from the hero loadout, or the get sensor, which may or may not apply to some of the overall discoveries, which is the main thing that I'm kind of concerned about. Tempted to just go straight for the even better hero shot. Yeah, let's do it. And we'll eventually go back for some of this stuff, I'm sure. Right now we're fine with just using small fry and not having access to bombs with the hero shot loadout, so we'll plug it in. Things will be good. Gives me some flexibility to adopt the later tier as well, although that gives me suit recovery for when I'm slightly electrified. Get sensor, well, I mean, it'll be the same thing and it stacks, so this is cheaper. But we will make those decisions as we go, and let's see, there are kettles on the right. Several of them. Those would, of course, be working towards the goal. To the left, you've got the kind of partially unlocked segment. Oh, let's do this first. Okay, fine. That'll work. Let's unlock something buried behind. Nope. I was hoping to remove that. I guess I need to get in position for that first. I was hoping to avoid some of the dash pads until such time as that option had become available. So let's maybe go back to where we were and just pop open a couple of things that have suddenly become available to me. And we can pop up most of the map at this point, given the cash infusion from the few levels we've played so far. I'm sure that's going to be depleted pretty quickly with time, but for now we'll just keep on revealing things. Have this nice open park space here. And look at that, it's Callie. What has Callie got for me today? Guess what? I've got some extra power eggs for you, courtesy of the captain. You said you're welcome. I haven't really heard Agent 3 say anything at all, actually, but we'll take it. And what are we looking at map-wise? We've got lots more to do. Yeah, might as well just go back to the start here and open up what we can. He's going to reveal something. I think it's worth checking every time we do one of those unlocks. Just what is opened up. Even if it's something relatively inconsequential. That I'll have to reach from the other side, I think, here. Probably from that upper platform. Because currently my vantage isn't quite what it needs to be in order to pluck anything out of here. Now, just wondering where that goes. It's obviously not something I'll chase right away. And, yep, well, have kind of a shortcut there. Bulbs upon bulbs. Whoops. Sorry about that, small fry. Okay. Let's make sure we can get out. And up we go. Okay, I'm spending a lot of time just on the map. Starting to deplete a bank a little bit, but until that point, we'll just keep on popping treasures. Always appreciate a pack of cards. Okay. Same old song and dances before. We'll get rid of the exit points eventually, and in the meantime, just reveal more to play. Oh, here's something. Okay. Just cash by the looks of it. But we can pick it up on his behalf. Now, let's see here. Yeah, got lots of ground to cover still. Where are all the dormant kettles? Over there. We haven't unlocked that one up top, by the looks of it. Or have we? Nope, this one. Conveyor belt tightening. Destroy every target you see while being mindful of the ink stick. What ink stick? We'll see. Well, we can try roller. Just to be fancy. We haven't played ink brush at all, though, over the course of this campaign, and so might not be a bad idea to practice. Okay, there's no timer on this. I just need to wreck everything. Ink stick. We need to not be caught. Oh, this ink stick. Okay. Okay, so we need to outrun it. Because otherwise, that conveyor belt will consume me. That would not be good. Now, is it a destroy all? Might be. Definitely need to try to outpace it, though. Okay. Oh, getting a little bit close here. Wasn't watching my back. Oh. Whoa. Getting a little close. Let a target escape. Okay, so it didn't count. It was the last one, too. Yeah, I should have actually tossed small fry for some of these so you can break some out in advance. When we get to the later ones. So yeah, we want to make some space ahead of us so we can actually get on up and pop. Yeah. Roller might be fun with this one, actually, because you can do those really widely spaced vertical shots when you jump to rotate the piece. And yeah, we missed that, but that's okay. We needed to put partial destruction first. Oh, okay, you don't actually get access to small fry in this one because it's a custom loadout, not the hero. Nope, nope. Low ink. Ran out of ink at the end. Wasn't watching the meter. We just ran out of juice. Let's spend more time as a squid. So yeah, no bombs to help you out this time. You just need to create as much of a swimming path as I can. I think that's the trick here, is we need to reduce travel time. Okay. Okay, there we go. Don't really need to spam that button. Okay. Come on. Got it. Just barely. Yeah, pretty interesting concept, definitely. Built for the various melee weapons. The reason I don't normally play ink brush is because it is a bit of a spammy weapon. It's just kind of asking for strain injury if you're playing it under intense circumstances. Anyway, we can probably go for that balloon at some point, but let's make sure we unlock a little more around here first. Like right over here. Well, we got the cash to do it. We need to unlock that stage, though. Okay, this is the exit to the other zones. We're actually going to save them for last, so we can unlock as much of the current map first. And where does that go? We'll take it up after we pop this guy open. Experience tomorrow's technology today. So I suppose it's a boss every 2 zones then, not every single one. Which would make sense, I suppose, because we've fought Fry. Surely we're going to fight both Shiver and Big Man in due course. So they're set in sites 4 and 6, and then I imagine that there will be something after that in this massive rocket base in the center that's still unaccounted for. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Let's make sure we know where everything is. Yep. Let's maybe go for the balloon. Yeah, you're definitely meant to have cleared out most of the space here before that. Okay, this is the issue with trying to pursue, is that you cannot ink the ice. And so I need to find either a way to carry myself over with some ice momentum, or find other shortcuts that allow me to skip as much ice as possible while on foot. Let's figure this out. The thing about time challenges like these is that fundamentally they are solvable. Let's wait that out. I was kind of coming in at a bad angle to do the first jump. So yeah, we want to maintain some uptime on the ice after we've used a boost pad, and we need to generally find more boost pads. Yeah, like this one, for instance. Amazing. Imagine if I actually used that the first time. Okay. Then we got some more. Oh, missed one. That's unfortunate. Yeah, pretty close though. Got most of the way there. I'll just try it again. And we're still kind of in the initial stages of routing that out, so just figuring out where everything is. So, no harm done. We have a couple of rough attempts while we just get ourselves oriented in space. Okay. Whoa. And the timer basically kind of resets when you complete each set. Okay. Okay. And then, how is the reward? That's to finish. There we go. Sparkles. That's number 10. A hungry blade, a sharp grin, and a wild warrior's hand. And I guess that's just the Splatana weapon. Or the precursor to the Splatana weapon. Which is new to this game, of course, and which we haven't really played in campaign yet. Actually, I haven't touched it in the full release of the multiplayer either. But did play around it a little bit in the demo. Let's find that other green balloon, because I feel like it is doable now, given how much we've unlocked on the map so far. We need to get rid of this thing here first, as well as the other 100. And yeah, Netcat, a lot of the artwork is really quite lovely to look at if you look at the sunken scrolls. We've unlocked quite a bit so far. Just a mishmash of comic art and fashion, and you can really see why the series has so much artistic appeal in a way. I mean, it is all about painting. It does kind of make sense that you would just be drawing on conceptual references from all periods. Anyway, Natcat, I hope you're doing well. And yeah, let's get over here. I'm kind of getting on my feet with this game. I had a pretty bad start on this stream where I think I was feeling a little bit sleepy in the early levels, and that was reflecting itself in the level of play. Whoops. We need to get rid of that thing. Let's figure out how to get in position to get rid of that without boosting everywhere. Yeah, I boost into the first one and I just swim to the second one. Okay, I've got it. And there's going to be some kind of treasure to reveal there. We just need to discover when we tuck ourselves into the corner. Like this. There we go. Much better. And then should be able to jump over at this point. Now, how do I make that jump? Do we pull over? I think we just... Nope. Hang on. There's going to be some way to do it, which we do need to figure out. Also, just let the small fry grab it. I don't think I can, though. Squirrels I do have to sit on directly, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yeah, because, yeah, we'll just go down here, and then the elevation's a little high for dropping in from this side. If I have a way to drop in on the other platform from above, then that'd be ideal. Or if I wait to pull back after this dash platform, which I'm not clear on whether I can do yet. Or perhaps even overshoot this using that dash platform instead. Like, yeah, you can't really pull back or do anything like that. Let's see, because if there's a way I can just kind of cancel momentum as I'm going over, then it would solve a number of issues. Perhaps it's another way down completely. I don't think I can make it from up top and just jump it. Seems much too far. So we'll have to consider some other option. Also, yeah, let's do that balloon challenge while we're thinking about that. And it looks like we just burst everywhere once again. And oh, that's not a platform. Okay. Then what do you have here? Yeah, possibly as I traverse this path, it'll open something up for me. That may make sense, since we're racing our way through this path anyway. And so do we get a scroll directly? Yes, we do, which doesn't explain how I get the remaining one we busted open on the other side. More eel manipulation? Yeah, so this basically explains how the boss that I fought in World 2, Fry from the Deep Cut squad, from the Deep Cut band rather, where he's getting his eel special powers from. Natcat, to answer your earlier question from a few minutes ago, there are 6 sites in total. We're on 3 out of 6. I would imagine that there's going to be some kind of final zone beyond that, because I believe Site 6 doesn't account for the huge rocket structure in the center, which is surely going to be something relevant if we look at the map. Let's see if we can look at the overall world map somehow. Whoops. No, we can't quite do it, but there was some way to look at the overall map of this site, and yeah, I'm pretty sure there's something unaccounted for after Site 6. But we'll see. I don't have a good sense of the length of this campaign, because every Splatoon campaign has been quite different in terms of how extensive it is and how the levels are structured. This is very much unlike either the Splatoon 1 or 2 campaigns, let's just say. Although the individual levels themselves are structured similarly to Octo Expansion in Splatoon 2, in that they give you that weapon choice that you can kind of earn different tiers of income from, and are kind of a soft form of difficulty setting. Okay, we were still trying to get that scroll that I revealed on one of the other island hops. Let's try to get back there. Yeah, the one that's kind of on the far side of where I am right now. Let's see if we can figure that out. And meanwhile, maybe unlock any other kettles that I somehow haven't popped yet. I think I've gotten most things opened up at this stage, but we're missing 1 or 2. I'm trying to remember where those are. Let's get back up here. Yeah, this I haven't... yes, I have. I popped that open. Everything with a symbol over it we've done already. This one I haven't popped open. Let's do that. Or rather, this one I haven't completed. Let's play a level first, perhaps, before we get back to the scroll. No, let's get back to the scroll first, since it's out here and we've already got an ink pattern out on the field. The lore is really not that hard to understand, Netcat. Basically, humans either went extinct or departed the planet completely aeons ago. They left a few of their mammal pets behind, But they also left behind all the sea creatures, all the cephalopods, for instance, who then evolved into their current humanoid form. So we're basically a highly advanced squid and octopus, depending on who you play as. And the thing that Splatoon 3 has contributed to the lore so far is that this is clearly one of the escape mechanisms for the human race, which by this point in time is very ancient. And that here they also formerly just fed on squid and octopus to sustain themselves in a time of great ecological crisis. Now, how do I jump back there? I just don't think I can cover this. There's got to be some other way. Let's maybe talk to Callie and see if any solution presents itself. Is Orca actually really funny? They are. Orca being the AI that runs this place, this remnant of human civilization. Looks like it's being swallowed by a giant sea urchin. Yeah, so the mystery in this game so far is that a whole bunch of things are turning furry. Like the blobs that I'm getting rid of, that I'm paying into and getting rid of, all those blobs are basically creating fur, and if I touch them, I become part mammalian or something. And so that so far is a mystery. We don't know why that's happening yet, and we probably had to fight some kind of very furry boss at the end of all this. Yeah. So it's not a series of urchin spines, if that's what you're wondering. I still don't see the path to get there. I think we just have to try a couple of potentially dangerous maneuvers here. So how do I cancel out of that? If I can... Yeah, if there's a way to kind of cut the boost short. Maybe so. Let's take a look at this. Like if I get in on squid form perhaps, and then kind of pull back aggressively. I don't know, that's a very quick jump. It's possible that it is just from this location here, but no, as you can see, it doesn't quite make it. Back in your feet. Maybe there's some kind of higher location that I need to drop down from in order to reach that locale. Yeah, so I don't see where that's going to be. So it's a bit of a mystery so far. I don't think there's anything else I need to unlock necessarily. Whoops. Or maybe something I need to push over or destroy. Haven't determined that yet. This is just money, I think. This balloon over here. Nope, totally missed it. Yeah, those are just money, though. We know that from experience. There's no way this is going to reach either. Oh yeah, it totally reaches. That was a simple thing to do. I just thought it was a little far out, so that's what happens when you have zero depth perception in 3D games. So yeah, this is the introduction to Deep Cut. Splatsville's rowdiest, loudiest trio, who also happen to feature heavily in the campaign. And so, yeah, this is Fry over here, the one you see on the right in the photo on the left side. Chucking eels at us everywhere. And yeah, I guess the first, second, and final dances here literally describe the boss pattern back in Site 2. Anyway, now that we've seen a whole bunch of this stuff, let's actually get back to playing some levels. So what have we explored so far? We unlocked this site. I feel like we've missed some additional ones, but we can grab one of the viewpoints if we're not sure. And yeah, let's just see it. Okay. Okay. Hero Gear and Try Slosher. Ink wheels. Let's just go with something standard here so I can figure out what's going on mechanically. No fee, that means it's kind of along the main path. Oh, these are the ink wheels. Yeah, we've played with a bunch of them already. Okay, we're actually playing Splatoon again. Then... yeah, these things we remember. They respond pretty well to small fry as well if you just parks on top of them. Okay, and then this we can do. Yeah, I can see why with the slosher being very short range, some of these course elements would play somewhat differently. Let's not get hit by the snipers. Yeah, we do have some blockades set up here, but we can move towards them. 2 hits from the chargers will just wreck you, so... anyway, we'll devour one of them, and look at him. His friend's trying to snipe small fry off of him. Being shot by a friendly sniper rifle at close range so you can get a little parasite off of you is maybe not the most pleasant thing to have happen, but anyway, Reef Striker. Wonderful thing, Reef Striker. We've gotten lots of use out of it in the multiplayer so far. We'll hope we get a chance to show it off here. Yeah, that's built for small fry, this thing here. Probably just cash, but we'll see. It is just cash, and we'd need to get up there to grab it, I think. Because he's not going to do it for me. Is there something I can climb? Yeah, it doesn't appear so. Except this thing, yeah. Nope, not quite high enough. We probably actually need to park small fry lower down, because the issue right now is that I can't actually continue to shoot this thing down here. Oh, and he just pops off. Okay. But it clearly is possible to continue to activate that somehow. Or some additional tier. It's just in this surface down here. Nope. Curious. Anyway, solution might present itself somehow. We have a way to get up high and go back. Does seem kind of odd, though. Possibly from this thing. No, it just rolls on. And sure, let's do some Reef Striker. Nope, totally missed. You have to be on ground level. Two paths. Take a look before you seal your fate. Well, I mean, it'd be fun to go back and get that wad of cash over there, but that's passed us by for the time being, so let's take a look. Let's see what we have in store. They look relatively symmetrical. I mean, there's the crate on the right side, and maybe that'll be some kind of useful drop. Just have to come in here and oh, okay, he just dies immediately. Works for me. Or rather gets blocked immediately. That also works for me. We'll just zigzag here. Can't imagine how the other path would flow. I mean, this side seems to work pretty smoothly when it comes to all of the setups just kind of miraculously lining up for me. So here's another crate that we're obviously not going to be able to collect anything from. Maybe, yeah, small fry is supposed to grab something for me. Oh, okay, never mind. We just do this. Oh, there was something similar in that earlier location, too. We just didn't see it. And nothing in this corner. It's a bit of perceptual trickery. I guess we'll have to jump. Yeah, I guess we'll have to jump. Oh, I see. Yeah, so these segments here, if you knock a roller into them, then they burst all the way up. So how far back was that other place? I think we've gone past a point of no return already, unfortunately, but I do understand how to do it now. When you have these panels on the ground, if you shoot them, you can only shoot them up to a height of 2. But if you have the this little belt thing, the name of which, the wheel belt thing, the name of which I just don't remember. That was a bad move. Then that would activate the block, so we just need to find locations like that we can work with. Anyway. Yeah, so that doesn't kill him, it just blocks him. That's okay. Because... oh, I see a crate there that we didn't pop earlier. Let's snipe everybody we can first, and we'll deal with it. Okay. And, yeah, you can just go back down here, and then it might get you something interesting. Who knows? Just money. So we'll need to look for some kind of block like these ones, these black and white blocks to take me over to a close enough distance so I can actually make my escape. Possibly. Hard to tell because there's clearly something going on here. No, we can just small fry this. That should extend the bridge all the way over. Yep, perfect. Perfect. And why not just spend a splashdown at the very end just for style points? Let's do it. Anyway, we're pretty far down in cash. We're over 4,000 now, so I think we can afford both of the ending gates. But let me just make sure that we've tidied up what I want to see. A lot of unexplored territory, of course. Although we've explored most of what is here. Yeah, we actually have 4 categories collected, so maybe I was more thorough than I thought it would be. Especially once we got that one scroll out of the way, so... perhaps it is time to move on to site number 4 or 5. And really, why not both? See, on one hand, I feel like I should do things in order, but on the other hand, we are given a branch and we can kind of unlock them both and see what's going on. They are sort of interconnected, as you can see. 3 goes to 4, 4 goes to 5. We can... ooh, if we pop open 5, it's got a whole bunch of interconnections. Goes to 4, goes to 6. Kind of an interesting hub. 4 might be likelier to let us end on a boss today, though. But anyway, we can unlock both. We can afford it. Quite needlessly so, in fact. And if, on the other hand, we can't afford the gate between 4 and 5 later, so be it. Let's just spend everything and have no money left. A belated GG? Yeah, thank you, Nightcat. And we'll take a look at both maps. See what we're dealing with. And yeah, I could get used to this as well. So yeah, map 5 lets you go directly to map 6 in some fashion, once you have the cash, I suppose. Landville Dreamland. This place is kind of a mess. And yeah, it definitely looks like there's another boss beacon of sorts. Something on that high ground over there is blasting out a super strong signal. Must be Gramps. Okay, let me just update my stream title quickly to reflect the fact that we're in Site 4. And let's explore. We have no money to pop anything open, but that's nothing a couple of level clears can't fix, so... And we can pop this open all over the place as well. Where does Small Fry go? I thought he just found something for me. There we go. What do you got? Cash, not much. Here we are. Also not much. 600, yeah, we're going to have to actually play some content first, I suppose. Imagine that. I mean, I did say at the beginning of the stream I wanted to prioritize actually playing the levels, and of course we didn't do that. Because that is just not my habit. That was a bit of a dangerous maneuver, but we made it. So. And let's open up as much as we can. Splash the block party. Using soaker blocks. Propeller Vaders. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to be working with a lot of different stage elements here. Easy ride, tricky targets. And look at how accessible everything is immediately, in fact. You're not unlocking pathways to the stages at all, really. Or rather, it's going to be a whole chunk that just becomes available for you at once. And yeah, this whole place is pretty busy, as we can see. Let's assume we have no cash for anything. Just kind of want to see what we have available so far in terms of level selection. In case anything presents itself. Like this, for instance. I don't think I can quite reach that yet. No harm in trying. But Ink Rail says otherwise. We can indeed just pop over here right away. Flying worst class. Okay. So we've got a bunch of unlocks. There's another one over there. I think that one's going to be a bit of a tall order to reach at this stage, though, unless we get over here first and just try to up open everything we can. Amuse. Oh, copy to template. I think this must be another one of those sculpting levels, like an Octo expansion, where you pop the crates to kind of match a work of art. Those were always one of my favorites. You have to exercise quite a bit of finesse to make them work. And we got a decoration, excellent. Okay, bust open some containers. Works for me. We got something on the other side, which we'll have to pop open eventually. Anything accessible over here? Not really, not yet. He's struggling to find it. Looks like the pathing is going to fail our little Small Fry this time. Yeah, something up above, but for now we'll stay down here and open up every stage we can to path to perfect penmanship. which unfortunately doesn't seem to use the ballpoint weapon, but it uses the brushes instead. Yeah, it looks like a pretty big and generally accessible world. It looks like picking up tons of cash should not be an issue if we just go stage by stage and have at it. Let's see what else we haven't blown open yet. Okay. Up and up. What haven't we seen? We haven't unlocked that one over there. And given the block on the other side, maybe that'll be reachable eventually. Yeah, this one there, this one there. We have a couple we're not reaching yet. But we've got a pretty big selection for the time being. And that might even expand further, depending on what we can traverse over on this side. Not much. 1,400 on this one. Well, let's see where he's taking me on a dig first. And let's take a look. Yeah, I got a lot of stages here all of a sudden, in fact. And the boss stage all the way on the other side. It'll be kind of a gradual climb to get up there as we afford get up there in the first place. And that's submarine as well. Let's see if the submarine is currently accessible. Or if it's blocked off. I think I can probably get there. Once we maintain our sense of orientation. Okay. It's interesting enough. Okay, we can totally hijack this thing. I'm sure. Stamp him out. Use the Splatoon stamper to reach the goal. Yeah, that's pretty much just special move practice stage. Always nice to have a few of those. And look at that, we've actually unlocked enough money to get some shortcuts open as well. Just by wandering the map somewhat aimlessly. Got some decoration. Yeah, we can totally make it up this way. Let's see where this burst is going to take me. Oh, it'll definitely get me somewhere new, I think. Or somewhere old. Yeah, not a lot of new information to work with. But that's fine, we just need to get back to basics here. And pop some things open as we go. So, that looks like the initial entrance. That looks like most negotiable point of contact here. Yeah, given our priority is to unlock levels, let's just stay on this for the time being and let's just start playing. At long last. Okay, splash block party. Reached goal while making skillful use of soaker blocks. We've barely used the new bow and arrow to try Stringer in the campaign. So, we're going to do it. I'll try out something new from time to time. I haven't really been playing the new weapons at all in... what's it? In multiplayer. as well get some practice in then. Okay, good. Oh, need to head on over. That was nearly a miss. Power our way through this as well, and hit the checkpoint. Okay, let's get rid of some of these guys over here first. Luckily, range on a tri-stringer is pretty good. It's not quite a sniper weapon like a charger, but it does pretty respectably regardless. Checkpoint already. I feel like maybe the other path was the optional path that would give me a couple of rings. Yeah, okay. Well, let's hit as much as we can. Oh no, that was meant to be a jump. Just completely missed it. Okay. Build up some speed. Gotta remember how to use the new column jump move from time to time. There's a new addition to the series as of last week. What have we got here? Okay, let's extend this as far as we can. Yeah, interesting. Reversal over there, and then that's going to give me plenty of room. Okay, almost done. Pretty simple, actually, as long as you sustain some uptime. Okay. Now, this is a bit of an issue that we were sitting on top of that and just kind of got wrecked. Octo Commander. Whoa, no. Yeah, I guess maybe he's only... well, the enemy is able to hit that block, but I'm not, perhaps. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, because the enemy inks it in its own color, and I have to negate that color before I can burst into it myself. And that didn't really occur to me simply because of the similarity between the light blue and the purple here. That you do need to sustain this for as long as possible, and then get the color advantage. Because if you don't have a color advantage, then you run into some pretty serious issues with the block being in favor of the opponent instead. Particularly because his enemy damage is going to negate my ink here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I just wasn't reading the color there, in that the mechanic for kind of flipping colors on these blocks is very similar to negating the size of the sponges that expand and contract. Not that money, welcome. And yeah, Natcat, the backdrops of these levels are always tons of fun to look at. Very abstract environments in some ways. Another thing, another respect in which it kind of takes after Octo expansion. Yeah, I got the money. Good to see you as well. I don't know if you've been playing this very actively. I've been playing this quite actively. Although, because I've been saving the single-player campaign for streaming, I've been way behind on single-player, whereas typically, with Splatoon games in the past, I would just play campaign on day one before I hop into the multiplayer. It's very much been the opposite experience this time. Partly because, you know, as a Splatoon 2 player, it entices you to kind of get set up and back on your feet in the new game right away. We don't really need to take out this 100 here and there, but we'll eventually be getting rid of everything, so who knows. You want to get it, you've just been very busy. Yeah, I've also been very busy. I've definitely had to carve time aside to play this at all, and there's a lot of stuff in the back burner that I've been kind of unable to finish. I'm 4 chapters into Xenoblade 3. I finished Chapter 4, rather. I'm kind of at the very beginning of Chapter 5, and that's been sitting unplayed for the past week or so, and I expect at this point that it is going to take me the rest of the year to get through Xenoblade 3. I completely foresee that to be the case. And yeah, having Summon Run just open whenever is very, very nice. Because now the Summon Run blocks last for about a day and a half to 2 days at a time. And so you can really just pick out a time of your choosing to work on the map that you want to play and the meter that you want to grind out. So, okay, we've done this one already. Let me do the next stage. Let's proceed. Propeller to greatness. You finished Xenoblade 3 last week? Yeah, I'm a long ways from doing so. I was a very non-linear player, shall we say, where by the time I was out of Chapter 3, I think I was already close to level 60 or so, because I'd just been exploring all of the side content I could get my hands on. And it was very well built for that kind of exploration, I think. Much better than many of the other Xenoblade games in that respect, and much closer to the openness of Xenoblade X, which surprised me quite a bit. Propeller evaders, let's see. Let's go Nautilus. I haven't really been using a lot of these Splatling style weapons very much. Occasionally they're very satisfying. We'll see if it's any good in this propeller mechanic that we're about to see. Oh, it'll be very good in propellers. Yeah. It'll be excellent, in fact. That guy's way out of range. Fine. And anyway, let's bust this down. You do wish they allowed level down? Yeah, because I definitely was challenged by the side content that I decided to pick a fight with, but at the expense of completely over-leveling the main content and not having to learn to fight strategically. Realistically, I will never find a time to actually replay a game the size of Xenoblade 3, not for a very long time, but I kind of wonder what a straightforward mainline run-through it would be like to really push through the fights. I am playing on hard, and, you know, until the side content really begins to open up, hard actually is a pretty decently tuned challenge in terms of compelling you to engage with the mechanics nice and early, and really figuring out the ins and outs of the earlier console fights. But after a little while, you just kind of grind your way past it. But, you know, fighting the named enemies at the same level is still really quite challenging in some ways. It does take a lot of planning and party reconfiguration, so I've been enjoying it quite a lot. It's funny because I've been having this discussion with one or two other players as well, that Xenoblade 3 is just absolutely stacked with mechanics from all over the series, and yet it actually feels simpler and more elegant and easier to understand. Because it's kind of like it just sort of took elements from all across the series and boiled them down to essentials and cleaned up the UI, right? And so I just don't have that sense of burnout that I did from some of the previous titles in the series. At least not yet. I'm sure I'll get there eventually, but it's just been a very smooth experience so far, where I don't really feel inundated with information and systems, in spite of the fact that it is legitimately very complex. And yeah, the music's always such a standout all across that series. It's a major attraction of it for me. Until the Xenoblade series came along, I kind of lost touch with the music of Yasunori Mitsuda since Chrono Trigger, which was like right at the beginning of his career, but I just hadn't kept up with very many JRPGs that he would have been likely to work on. But it's been such a joy to listen to that entire soundtrack. Listen to it in-game, of course. I'm not going to search it on YouTube or something when I still require some measure of spoiler protection. Okay. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Nintendo Direct as well. Got that money. I always kind of approach them with a mix of excitement and dread, in that there's a lot that I don't have the time or budget for that I'm still nevertheless very interested in, so you kind of have to pick your battles. But I was very pleased to see that Tunic was coming out for this system in particular, because people have been telling me for a while now that it's very much my kind of thing. Yeah, you know, I only just noticed a few days ago that Xenoblade 3 no longer had that thing where you have to do this, like, quick-time event where you have to match the B button to the circle that's contracting. You know, just little things like that that have been cut out because they didn't serve a great purpose to begin with, and weren't really strategic decisions, or, you know, it didn't really do much other than give you more buttons to press and more timings to track. Like, that's the kind of decision that makes Xenoblade 3 works as well as it does. It was willing to take out stuff like that. Like, I played so much of Xenoblade X, and I honestly cannot tell you to this day what overdrive on the skulls actually did. I have no memory of some of those systems whatsoever. Yeah, Octopath Traveler 2, unfortunately, is in one of those places for me where I was never quite finished with the first one. I was very far into Octopath Traveler 1, and I'm told that there's this fantastic super boss at the very end. But I just kind of fell off of it when I got distracted by something else in a very busy year. Like a busy year outside of games for me. And it's one of those games that I was far enough into it that I couldn't get back into it after a break, because I just lost track of what I was doing with a lot of my party setups and where I was going on the map and so on. And so unfortunately, I never finished Octopath Traveler 1 despite enjoying it tremendously. Easy ride, tricky targets, destroy the targets. Ooh, I see squelchers here. Let's see how we do. But yeah, I feel like between Xenoblade 3 and a new Fire Emblem and the newly named Tears of the Kingdom sometime next year, I feel like I've got enough long games to deal with, and there are definitely things I'm cutting from the schedule. Okay, yeah, Jet Squelcher is always kind of easy mode. We play this weapon a lot. This was kind of my main weapon back in Splatoon 1. I haven't really been playing blasters, so we just kind of played Nautilus, which was similar to the Splatling. Let's do blasters, actually. Do a bit of a depth perception and range check. For once. I'm not very good with blasters simply because my depth perception is not good in 3D games. But... and they do have a fairly exact range. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a rail? Yes it is. And we'll just continue to rail. Yeah, rail ride stages are always quite something. You have to, well, just hit every target, I guess. We got a couple of these already. What's that? No, that's just decoration. Okay. There we go. I'll catch up on chat in just a moment. Let's just do the rail ride first. Oh yeah, the Nintendo Direct was absolutely packed. Just more than enough to choose from in some ways. And I'm actually quite interested in Return to Dreamland because it is a game that I missed back on the Wii. Whoops, not paying attention here. Because it came out so late on the Wii that by that time, for a number of reasons, I was also not in possession of my system that year, and I'd mostly fallen off the Wii in its later years apart from Skyward Sword. I only caught up on Xenoblade 3. Sorry, Xenoblade 1 a couple years after it released. And so Return to Dreamland was one of those games that just kind of fell between the cracks for me, and so I was seriously considering just picking it up in Wii Virtual Console on Wii U, and then, of course, they announced the remaster for it. And, of course, having some sign of life for Pikmin is always wonderful. Now that Pikmin has kind of firmly established itself as a once-a-decade event. Try to keep this up in the second half, yeah, sure. Okay. But yeah, I'm trying to limit my shopping list for the rest of this year, given that I still have tons of Xenoblade to get through. It will probably just be Tunic and Bayonetta. And that's probably going to be it, because I've just got too much that I'm backlogged on. And particularly with Fire Emblem coming out, which is always a major priority. Look at this train just kind of hanging around here in the middle of nowhere. Okay, this segment here, that's why you play Blaster. Wouldn't want to do splatling on that segment, unless you are really good with your aim. Big finish. Let's not spend too much ink here. Ah, yeah. Feeling pretty good about this. We just need to remember to reload ink whenever possible. There we go. Pretty simple. Yeah, Metroid Dread, I found I really appreciated that it's a game that I think really captures something very important to games like Metroid, and a lot of platformer games as well, which is that it's fun when you play it slow, and it's fun when you play it fast. I've never been a speedrunner, but Metroid Dread was one that I actually really enjoyed just kind of casually replaying for the Portrait Collection, because I found even as a fairly casual player, it's quite doable to get something like a 3-hour time on it without having to be very precise, and with just a little bit of planning and map knowledge. And so it's kind of like it made the speedrunning experience and the sequence breaking experience very accessible in its own way as well, which I understand back in Zero Mission also kind of did a very good job of that, but of course then Metroid decided to disappear on us for ages without following up on some of those innovations. But no, my first time through Dread I really took my time, because I do try to do 100% on my first run when it comes to Metroid games, and just kind of soak it in as much as possible. Oh yeah, we've unlocked this one already, and this one, and that. And why did I pop open that 1400? Well, that's okay. Ah, yes, we wanted to pop open some of the ones on that end. That's okay. We'll see how much that costs and just kind of distract ourselves for a bit while we also have a bit of a Nintendo chat. But yeah, I played a bit of the boss rush mode in Metroid Dread when it was patched in, and Octohoppers don't have a sense of humor, and they hate puns. Oh, that'll be interesting. I wonder why. What kind of puns exactly are we in for? Something absolutely tentacular, I bet. Okay, a scroll that's just kind of a freebie given to me in the middle of the path. That's number 14. We're still, of course, missing some of the balloon challenges here, and That'll have to come when we unlock most of the map. Look at those hashtags that somehow trendy, squiddy hashtags have survived multiple mass extinctions. Nautilus introspection. I got that golden ratio. I quite love that. Got that golden ratio. Okay. This will poke once we've cleared out a little more space. I can try to poke it, but I feel like we're going to run into ink. And we might as well unlock the boss path if we can afford it. Yes, we can. It'll be really interesting to watch other people speedrun this game. Because there definitely are routing decisions to be made when it comes to stage selection. And the thing is that so much of the level design is clearly built with speed in mind. In that, you know, the in-stage exploration is kind of stripped away from Splatoon 3 entirely compared to the campaigns in 1 and Vanilla 2. But the stages still kind of retain that openness and aren't as much committed to the puzzle box structure of something like Octo Expansion, rather. And so it's sort of an interesting mix. Where I feel like it's just meant to be a speedrunner stream. You can kind of tell there are a couple of things that give that away. Anyway, let's go back and play some stages. And continue to creep up the map. Let's just go back down and clear all we can. The idea will be to try to get through all of World 4 here in the remainder of the stream if I have time. Watch for hopsticles as you head toward the goal. Ah, hopsticles, okay. The Octo Hoppers don't like that very much either. Let's take a look. Yeah, Mario plus Rabbids. I'm very much into turn-based strategy games like that, and I did enjoy the first one, but I've learned my lesson with Ubisoft games with the first Mario plus Rabbids, which is just exercise some self-control and wait for 75% off on the full collection plus DLC within a year. I regretted not doing that with the first Mario and Rabbids, because as much as I enjoyed the game, one of the reasons that I never wound up playing some of the additional content, like the Donkey Kong DLC, etc., was that very rapidly they kind of left us day one adopters behind to sell the full collection at a much lower price. Anyway, Eurogear, Slosher. We haven't really played much Slosher. Oh, dualies and auto. You know, dualies are always fun. Let's do it. What even is this stage? Oh, Octo something or other. Let's figure that out. Watch out for hopsticles. Whoa, okay. I don't want to get in too close. Yeah, we can play with the auto bomb a little bit. Then, yeah, I just need to remember to strafe with the dualies to get the focus fire down. I played Dark Tetra dualies a lot in the demo. I haven't unlocked it yet in the main release of the game. But this was probably my favorite loadout in the Splatfest week. Of course, that was because of its special loadout as well. And a couple of synergies that just worked very well with it in Turf War. If you're getting Mario and Rabbids Day 1, yeah. For me, it's too proximate to Bayonetta, and Bayonetta's likely to be my priority. But, yeah, I mean, I say now that I'm going to exercise some self-control, but, you know, when a game launches, who knows what's going to happen. But no, as far as the turn-based strategy file goes, I'm just massively backlogged anyway. I've had triangle strategies sitting around in my collection unplayed for what seems like months. And, still got some stuff in Three Houses that I want to go back to before the new Fire Emblem, so I feel like I've just got plenty to chew on right now. No time to chew on it. and I'm only going to get busier. But yeah, other than that, though, I like the spacing of the release schedule that we've seen so far. I mean, obviously, these days Nintendo does drop surprises on 2 to 3 months' notice, but Zelda seems pretty perfectly placed for me in terms of not being too soon, and still kind of occupying its own little space. Yeah, Three Houses is a big, big game. That's the thing. Absolutely massive if you really get into it. And I'm a pretty slow player as it is when it comes to turn-based strategy, because I do tend to be pretty exact and methodical sometimes. Okay, that was easy. That was no problem whatsoever. Just bust down enemies. One thing that I noticed that this campaign does not have, sensibly because of the theme and the lore, is that compared to Splatoon 1 and 2, there are no maps that are just fights against enemy AI on variations of the battle maps. And that's okay, because those were kind of filler maps in 1 and 2 anyway, where you just fight the Octolings on the map, and they were really kind of a remnant of the tutorial structure of the first game, where the campaign was mostly... It was kind of 80% tutorial and 20% amazing final boss. Okay, what's this, 900? Yeah, we can pop it if we want to go to the other side. Alternatively, 300 over there. I think we might be able to break that open as well. Let's just take 900 and keep things simple. We've reached that one already, actually, so this was a little pointless, but shortcut's a shortcut. And yeah, we'll just fly worst class. Hitch rise to reach the goal. Looks like probably flying platforms. I think we've had our fill of rails for the time being. There is a roller in this stage. Octolings are friends, not foes, and for that matter, not food. Not anymore, anyway. Yeah, you'll notice that I am playing as an Octoling. I switched to an Octoling avatar in 2 as well, once Octo Expansion came out. And Zap. Oh, let's play Roller. We haven't played Roller in this campaign much at all, actually, so... Good old Roller. I actually do find Rollers a little more awkward to control with Joy-Cons, which was what I'm using right now, than back on a big, bulky Wii U gamepad, where the gamepad literally felt like a roller, right? So I barely played Roller in 2, because the controls just didn't quite feel the same, but I don't mind getting back into it for the campaign here. Just love the music in this game. Okay. Let's smack that guy. Yeah, giving myself a bit of space to climb would be nice. Oh, this is why you need to ride on platforms. Okay, I see. Well, you can knock those down. I guess you need to jump this and then get on top of the next one without blowing it up. You can ride an Octomissile? Yeah, of course you can. Oh, should have gotten on top of this. And let's see here. Okay, now we need to not blow this up. I made this mistake in an earlier level where I just kept blowing up my own platform. Oh, we missed the opportunity there. Let's get on. And smack him. Whoa, need to heal up. And we need some kind of vertical segment to climb here. Nope, it's not going to happen here. Oh, and we need to jump across. Okay. There we go. I'm really bad at gauging my jump distance in this game, be it in inkling form or squid form. Or octopus form, I suppose. Can I just ride on top of this directly, or... Didn't think so, actually. Oh, that was a bad fall. Okay. Let's just nuke him. Yeah, no, I should have known the answer to that was no. But I tend to experiment, and that's what I get for my trouble. I always like to confirm if I can do something or not. Biggie Swalls, let's give you a big shout out. And yeah, Biggie Swalls, I do understand that you've been doing crossword challenges on your stream lately. I hope that's been going well. I do see a number of people do things like crossword speedruns from time to time because, of course, I do keep in touch with people who stream games like Scrabble. And as you can imagine, there's quite a lot of crossover. Oh, whoops, wasn't paying attention to that at all. I thought I was going to make a left. So yeah, Biggie Smalls, do let me know how you were doing on that end of things. Okay, let's pay attention. Whoop, nearly missed that. And Chess Bunzo, welcome as well. And okay. And yeah, I hope you've been well. It's, okay, now we know we can jump this gap because we've done it before. Let's jump it. And remember to emerge from squid form here. There's a checkpoint. And we've got a missile over here that we'll just need to catch. Much more platforming oriented here than most of what we've seen so far. I totally missed a missile and got away with it. Alright, off the train. You haven't played Splatoon 3 yet? Yeah. I'm not too far in the campaign. I'm at about just maybe the halfway point or so. I feel like there's a lot more to see. Currently on World 4. We know there are at least 6 worlds, but there will probably be more content than that, given how things are structured. And look at that, did they come back to life? Yes, they do. Jumping around in humanoid form always feels a little weird in this game. Because I'm so used to just sailing everywhere as a squid, but now and then you actually do need to do actual 3D platforming, and let's get a little tense. But yeah, Splatoon 3 is wonderful. It's a much bigger change from 2 than I expected. Given that I think the reaction of a lot of people to a lot of the marketing and feature set was that it looked like it was too incremental an upgrade. It's really not the case. I think it's actually a very substantial reworking of a lot of different systems. And that, you know, the better you know Splatoon, the more you notice just how big those changes are. And so I've been very satisfied with this so far. It's gotten me back into Splatoon in a big way after having largely dropped it by around early 2019. Not coincidentally, probably around the time Mario Maker came out. But yeah, I'd been off Splatoon for a couple of years, and it is so good to be back. It is one of those games I think that makes the previous sequel, Splatoon 2, look like a bit of a middle child in retrospect, but that's what happens when a series continues to iterate on its ideas. Yeah, Mario Maker's great. Did I ever actually play the most recent version of that puzzle? Because I remember in that puzzle of yours that had the 3 separate exits, I actually did figure out all of the exit puzzle, but the one that stumped me for the longest time, I don't think I actually showed off on stream. That was, of course, the better part of a year ago, so I can't quite remember. I know I figured it out. I just can't remember if I ever got around to showing it to you on video. You were talking about the level before you rated. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely figured it out. And I couldn't believe the thing I missed. Actually, I'd have to go back to it and solve it again, but, you know, I think it wouldn't take too long to reconstruct. Yeah. No, that was a fun puzzle. I haven't done puzzle-centric streams in a very long time on this stream because my stream time went down significantly this year for a number of reasons, and unexpectedly so, where I had to really cut back and had a couple months where I was only able to get on like maybe once or twice a week. So, unfortunately, a lot of the Mario Maker streaming did kind of fall off a little bit, and I've been meaning to get back on it. Which I have, because right now it is actually, the thing that just started was 7MMC, the 7th Mario Maker celebration, which is kind of like the spiritual successor to the YMM anthologies in the past, with a lot of overlap in people as well. And we started running that last week, and that's been tons of fun as well, so. It's definitely still a very active game, I think much more active than people realize if they've fallen off of it themselves. Ink Fast Hot Shot? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Okay, it's another Squiffer level. Well, it's actually recommending the sniper weapon this time with a higher reward. Let's do it. Let's do it. We failed miserably in taking a charger weapon into one of the earlier levels. That was also a pop the target level, so I feel like we need to get our revenge on that and show that I can actually snipe a thing or two from time to time. At least this one's not on a timer. Is it? Okay. It's an accuracy test. It's not a timed check, which is good, because I can snipe, I just can't do it quickly. Okay. Yeah, target practice is not bad. In fact, I guess, yeah, this is why it is easier with the Squiffer than with the Splatter Shot, maybe? No, Splatter Shot would still be pretty accurate. At least you're not playing Slosher or something like this. Obviously, it would be nicer to do it all in one shot here, but so we don't need to reload quite as much. Oh, ooh, no, that's going away. Okay, so it is slightly time sensitive. It's not a strict time limit. We just, whoops, popped a failed balloon. Whoops. We just need to get a little more accurate. Okay, not the cleanest, but we'll take it. Okay, let's load up on ammunition once again. Okay, was not too bad. Let's refill ink a little bit. Actually, I think checkpoint would basically do it for me. Whoa, that's a miss. Whoa, that's another miss. Okay. We're probably going to run into some timer trouble here. Oh, yep. That's going to be a fail. And that's the third one, so. I'm not expecting Mario Maker 3 until some future generation. I think as a same generation sequels goes, Splatoon 3 is a very anomalous circumstance. There are a couple of decisions Nintendo was only able to make this generation because the Switch was such a runaway success. One of them being the DLC model for Mario Kart 8, and another one being releasing Splatoon 3, which, as you may have heard, is actually the fastest selling game in Japanese history by a significant margin. You know, bigger than Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Dragon Quest, all that stuff. Splatoon 3 is actually just this massive cultural phenomenon there. Yeah, Splatoon 2, like Splatoon 3 is on pace to outsell Splatoon 2 in Japan probably within the next week or two, I think. It's an absolutely gigantic launch. And I think part of it is that, you know, they have enough people sort of on board with the Switch by now that it makes sense to kind of have a fresh start for everybody. Whereas, you know, Splatoon 2 was already kind of nearing the end of its support in late 2018, early 2019. When the Switch was still booming. Okay, let's see what we can do. Eventually, I mean, we've got tons of cash now. We can unlock a few more spots, so we eventually have a path to follow for the balloon challenges. But let's do some stages first and just clear the map if we can. Just make sure everything is accounted for. Charge now, splat later. Let's do it. This is a GooTuber level. We haven't played GooTuber at all. This mission will teach you about charge storing. Oh yes, where you charge and then get into the ink. Not something I ever really mastered even in Splatoon 2, but then I didn't play charger weapons that often in multiplayer, so... Okay. Now, how does this level design actually enforce doing that? Probably by not giving you much of an opportunity to charge safely once you... There we go. Yeah. Okay, we'll hold into it. Yeah, because I guess if you don't have a charge shot ready to go, then everything just kills you. That's how they enforce it. There we go. I don't actually remember what makes the GooTuber special among the charger weapons, spec-wise. I used to know this stuff. Oh no, we need to charge first. Hang on. Let's do that. Whoops, total miss. Nope. Just need to adjust for the fact that we are going up and down. There we go. Much better. Ah, much better. It even says so in the dialogue. And then, yeah, we can probably charge on the rail. So let's do that. Whoa, nope. That's not how you do it. Charge and then get by a rail. Okay, Okay, we definitely have the charge stored. I'm just not getting in close enough to get a good shot in. Oh, missed. Okay. Let's get on. Let's try to get a shot this time. Oh, I'm a little bit off still. Not enough of a charge, as you can see. For some reason. Maybe I was a little off center. Let's try it. Nope. Coming in a little low every time and a little low and to the left. There's something about... Yeah, because I'm only seeing the targeting reticle come up for a moment when I get out of squid form. Yeah, because you fall off the rail when you get back into Inkling form, man. The issue is that the charging reticle is just not up and running for long enough for me to make adjustments, even if I'm fairly quick and snappy about it. More octo jerks, yeah, looks like it. That is a lot. Okay. Hard way through the front door. We're doing it the hard way. That's how we do things around here. Oh, nope. That's the hard way. Let's maybe create a little bit of space first. Okay, what we got? Whoa, and then that really blows your shield up pretty quickly. Okay, let's try it again. And then, oh, no, drop back down. Getting a little wrecked by that guy. Let's see if we can get into position to boost up towards him. There were some really good anti-sniper missions in Octo Expansion, as I recall. We really had to learn how to play against them. It was like something like out of Half-Life 2. I remember when Octo Expansion came out, that's how I described it to people, was that it's actually closer to Half-Life 2 than most games I've ever played. In that, you know, you're fleshing out snipers, you're doing physics puzzles, you're just working with gravity mechanics with your guns, you're just doing all kinds of crazy stuff in what seems like a straightforward genre. Okay. Nope, these guys are repositioned now, and we need to find a new angle of attack. Nope, way off. Not nearly enough distance. I'll probably want to use the rail for this. And just try to find some way to snipe them all at once. Well, one of them at once. Oh, a little too close to the shield. We do need to flank him a little further behind. And faster. There we go. A little more. I would assume it's possible if you're good enough to chain all three together, but my aim is not that good, nor is my speed. As you can see, that guy is rotating in time when he sees me pop out. So we'll probably need to take another angle of approach. We'll try to do that in the back here. Let's see. You know what? He's right here and... Oh, okay, he saw me. Alright, just sneak this way, see if we can stealth away out of sight, out of mind. And you know what? We can just flank completely. I do not see why not. Alright. Right here. More stuff to shoot at, yes indeed. Oh. Luckily, I've got a bit of a high ground advantage here. Unluckily, I'm blocking myself. Okay. Here we go. Oh. Oh, okay, I've got to disable this thing first. Am I high enough to hit that? I don't know if I am. There we go. Yeah, very similar to one of the new player specials that shields the enemy team. Big bubbler or something, I think. Not to be confused with the bubble item in previous games. That lets you roll around. Anyway. Okay, that's it for this one. Charge now, splat later. Sounds like good advice. Okay. Now what have we got? We've got lots more levels to do. We just need to remember where they are. Yeah, there's a submarine over there. We haven't done that yet. And Callie's hanging around here now. Okay, and we can also extract some of this to see what that uncovers. More upgrade points and probably more treasure as well eventually. Oh, let's see. 100. Yeah, I might as well clean this place out. There we go. Should actually do some upgrades at some point. Let me see how I'm doing for hero gear. Oh, okay, only 2. We could do some of these upgrades on the side, but yeah. Ink tank capacity might be a good idea at some point, but I feel like we want to save up a little further. Actually, no. Let's do it now. That's a good one to have, considering that I have had some ink issues in certain levels. We'll take it. We'll have everything by the end. We'll have 100% before this is all over. So, not really too concerned about that. And where's Small Fry going now? Jumping around. Okay, that's fine. Let's do another level first, and then we'll ask questions later. Okay, we'll be using the Splatoon Stamper. Definitely not something you want to stand in front of in multiplayer. Ask me how I know. This mission will make effective use of the Splatoon Stamper to reach the goal. Oh no, I'm not. I'm thinking of the Ultra Stamp. Splatoon Stamper is just the Splatoon that is shaped like the date stamping office appliance. And so we just need to know how to do the charged vertical blade and a side swipe. And we'll see how that goes. And how this is tested. With the occasional curling blonde as well. Yeah. Charge slash allows you to do that. Get a pretty decent range on that, actually. They create some climbing walls right away. I said they create some climbing walls. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, you can basically change your axis of approach depending on how you choose to play here. Good range, actually. Good against people who try to get to jump on you. And then you can just flank him and slap him like you do with the ink brush. Kind of an interesting mix between a melee weapon like the ink brush and an offensive weapon like some of the lightweight rollers that you can fling. Yeah, it's kind of halfway between a brush and some of the light damage rollers like carbon, perhaps. Where you usually need to jump to do this kind of straight shot. Okay. Alright. Now let's back up here. Oh, for really stubborn crates, getting close, okay. I see, okay. Now we know. Well, it's kind of like a stamper. There we go. Gonna make quick work of him. I still have a habit of trying to jump into a vertical shot like I would with one of the roller weapons, but... Alright, we need to make this wall here. Whoops. There we go. Okay, I just need to charge that in midair to really get a good lock on it. And then it will need to go vertical over here in order to knock down the crate. That's very much the point of this exercise. Curling bomb's gonna go way too far. Curling bomb is expensive here. Look at the bar on this thing. Yeah, very easy to underestimate just how expensive sub-weapons can be to activate all over Splatoon. We're, of course, going to check the other door. Okay. There we go. Close enough. Alright, now let's get back into it. Final checkpoint. Yeah. Pretty simple. Whoop. Let's get out of here. Okay, there we go. Just needed to do a quick approach with a line. That seems to be the way to do it. A little bit sloppy when it comes to just charging directly into him. But... okay, let's get out of here. That was not wise. Go. Slam into this guy, and that'll work just fine. Okay. I've blasted in the face just a few too many times for comfort, but I'll have to make it back. And here we are. Alright, let's do more map clearing, probably. And depending on how we're doing, we get cleared or uncleared kettles that we've revealed so far. I also, by the way, totally didn't remember to read the archive for Log 3, despite completing it. Because we completed World 3 earlier in the stream, and I just completely forgot to read this. We're not going to read the whole thing verbatim. I am perhaps going to comment on it. But this is some of the lore to Alterna, which is where we're located for this campaign. Back in the time of the humans farming the squids. Liquid crystals for displays, perhaps. These crystals could read minds. Oh, interesting. Now, that's interesting. That they use the squid to create artificial environments. Like, makes me think of the LED volume set in which they film all of the Star Wars television series now, where it's a kind of virtual environment. They just place the cameras in and they have the actors interact with live backgrounds that are just in this kind of dome-shaped LED display. Same principle, really, except not based on squid. What's Small Fry's trying to get here? He's trying to pick something up. Where are you trying to go, Small Fry? To the other side, okay. Ah, there we go. Very good. Right on target. And that was nothing interesting. 25, whatever. Okay, map. What have we not done? We've got a whole bunch on the other side. We'll look at that. We haven't even been to this part over here yet, by the looks of it. And there's an ink rail that we can look at, which is the same one that we had traversed before. And yeah, let's maybe clear some space, because this will eventually lead me up to the boss level, if I'm not mistaken. Let's make sure of it, because we have yet to unlock the actual boss kettle. Oh, probably because I just hadn't bothered. But of course, whoops. Small fries, not touching that fuzzball. Until I tell it to. Okay, so that's the shortcut over to the boss kettle. We're not doing the boss yet. I'm just unlocking it so we have the warp point on the map. And then we'll head back down and clean out whatever we can before we do the balloon run. Those aren't birds. We're going to shoot them anyway. Dapple Julies and Squiver. Yeah, we've been playing plenty of Sniper today. Let's just go back to Julies for a bit. Okay, 18 targets. I don't know if anything's time sensitive here. It doesn't look like it, because they would usually prepare the clock ahead of time. Where are the targets? Here comes the first target. Okay, maybe the targets individually are time sensitive. Okay, I guess we have to smack them before they hit the ground then. Which is why I'm kind of glad I'm not playing Squiver. We'll probably have to juggle multiple targets at some point. Yeah, just doing the dash here. Make sure we have single targets. Yeah, I guess if they fall into the black spaces, then things go bad. Or they just bounce off the edge if you don't catch them in time. Doing a dodge roll to break that one. Yeah. Oh no, way out. Okay, not only do you need to do dodge roll to focus fire, but you do need to get into position with it. Well, now we know. And what was his first weapon choice? It was Nautilus. Oh, I can see why. So rapid fire actually does help for targets like those. Yeah, you do need to dodge roll into the focus fire, and so the timing does matter somewhat. Get a little bit of practice with that, as long as we don't expend too much ink. And thank you for the follow. Alright, now let's do it this time. Let's catch it on the way over. Probably just dodge roll back behind it. Whoa, no. Whoa, nope. Way out of position. Went right off the edge. Okay, we'll need to figure that out. Yeah, just not enough damage output for me right now with the dualies, so... That's why we do need to focus fire to happen, but... The focus fire doesn't last very long, though. Need as much ink as possible. Build up some more ink on the surface so we just have some more room to maneuver. Whoa, nope. Too risky. Okay. Let's not fool around, actually. Let's just try to do this properly. Okay, do some of the inking now while I can. Yeah. I mean, we're not even at the halfway point yet, thanks to the fat target that's been giving me so much trouble, so... Okay. Doing alright, but this is not the part I'm worried about. Okay, we'll dodge roll into it and back out, perhaps. Nope, way out of position. Yeah, no, my camera was just not what I wanted it to be after the 180, and just didn't manage to reset it in time because I was trying to hold down a focus fire, so... Having a lot of trouble with that one. We'll see what we can do. Or we can try switching to Squiffer, perhaps. Just the firepower is the issue right now, more than the actual aim. Alright, let's try it again. And back we go. Okay, doing alright now. Here's the real test. Might need to just chase it from behind the whole way. There we go. Now, can I do that twice when they give me some more to work with? I need to learn how to use the burst bomb with that. Okay, now let's not run into ink issues here. 5 remaining. Okay, there is going to be a particular order. Oh no, this is the last of them, so we don't need to worry too much about firepower. We just need to worry about speed. Okay, that's easy. It's that one in the middle that was... Oh, whoa! That tricks you out. Okay. Neat little twist at the end, thankfully one that we could react to quickly. Kind of a fun twist, actually. Don't want to be standing too far back for something like that. Anyway, that's another one down. Let's do some more. Yeah, we'll jump down to the one down there afterwards. Let's do this first. Let's put a pin in that, stay in your lane, and reach the goal. It feels like a bowling level. Sounds like it anyway, except the weapon selection we see indicates otherwise. You need to play 1 and 2 to get the story in this one? Not really. Like, you'll recognize some of the characters, but... I'll answer that question in more detail in just a moment, perhaps when I get out of this level. But the lore in 1 and 2 is not that complex, and the backstory is very much recapitulated by the backstory in this one. And so, you know, having played 1 and 2 gives you some additional context for recognizing characters, and recognizing some references, perhaps. But it's not critical, because this retells you the information that you need to know about the Splatoon universe, shall we say. Okay, what are we doing? Let's put a pin in that. We just did a bit of sniping. Yeah, let's actually just play with the standard loadout. Don't feel like spamming the brush right now. Once I get back out into the menu screen quality humor, I can answer that question a little more thoroughly. Stay in your lane. Now, why would you want to do that? Oh, because of the bowling balls everywhere. That you're not controlling the bowling balls, you're playing against them. And then you can splash down your way through this. If you really wanted. Okay. I feel like this is actually kind of a retro music track from earlier in the series. This one specifically. No way. Whoa. Close call there. Actually pop some money along the way, which might be helpful. Yeah, this actually is very similar to one of the levels in Splatoon 2, I think. This one. Which so far has been a rarity. We haven't seen too many levels in this style. Where it's very much an obstacle course with one very focused element. You know what? We can splash down this one. It'll be fun. It'll be inaccurate. Now, what are we doing? Oh, yeah. We'll just bust everything down here. Okay, here we go. Final checkpoint. Okay, as long as we keep some ink on the ground and get across, we should be okay, as long as I see where my exit is going to be. You can, of course, always go for the money on the far side if you want to take the risk, which I will. There we go. Not too bad. Yeah, in some ways this is actually going quicker than the earlier worlds. Maybe I'm just kind of getting warmed up and getting into the swing of things. I had a really rough start in World 3 at the beginning of this stream, but just kept on walking off edges. And not even because of drift or anything, just from incompetence and inattention. But it's gotten better. It looks like we're kind of a little more in the zone now. And let's see how we're doing for stages. We have perfect penmanship behind me and Muse to the left. Oh, there's a kettle down there. Yep, there we go. Alright, we'll do these two down here, and I think that should be most of the stages available. And once we have the cash, we'll just explore the overworld here, do the boss level. You have to go for the money, it's the law, yeah. Very much so. And who am I to disobey the law? Ah, Zipcaster level. Wonderful. Oh, and as a Zipcaster level, that is also the kind of art level, I think. Which is probably why... Yeah, so there's a level just like this in Octo Expansion, except it's just using the gun. It's not using this new Zipcaster power that lets you go around everywhere. There's a reason why we wouldn't want to use a charger for this, because it would penetrate objects, and Sloshing Machine would have too wide a zone. So let's kind of do it with a standard weapon first, just to see the scale of the challenge, even if it's less money and therefore breaking the law. Aim carefully and copy the template, except we are going to use this special. This amazing special that lets you Spider-Man all over the place. Okay, think before you ink those crates. So we're going to do a little bit of carving here. Yeah, and you can just do a double tap shot to get what you want. And that should be fine. I think it's symmetrical, so not too worried about that. Yeah, that's why you don't use sniper weapons here. Just... Okay. So we've got most of the front part done. We need to take off the sides here. Hope that's correct. Yeah, it looks correct. And I mean, it gives you the Zipcaster because it could potentially let you play for speed. I think a speed run of a level like this would be amazing to watch. Did I mess up already? I messed up already. I was not supposed to destroy that. Can I do a reset somehow? I'm pretty sure I blew it already. Because, yeah, this one I was not supposed to unstack. Alright then, let's, well, I mean, let's be a true artist here, like Vincent van Gogh. Just do exactly the thing that you have to do when perfectionism fails. And... anyway, this part looks complicated. Yeah, you got money up here. Okay, so let's start from the top down here. Peel off the top layer. Second layer here. Yeah, we'll just peel off the top, I think. Except for that one tile that we do not peel. Which is the one in the middle. Yeah. Always have to be fairly meticulous about this stuff. Squeezer is a good weapon for this. A fun and elegant weapon. Yeah, we'll just do a nice gentle double tap here. We've got the top layer set out. And we peel the sides here. I think it makes sense to try to do things symmetrically, just so I can keep track of what I have or haven't done. Feels like a genuine exercise in sculpting. Then, yeah. Peel off this over here. Alright, let's go around. We actually should use the zip caster from time to time just for style points. Alright, let's do that. I'd watch speedrun races of just this level, I think. I'd watch them, I certainly wouldn't partake, but... it's like a creature, like a turtle or something with a tail, if you look at it carefully. Almost. Okay, let's try to do this symmetrically. I mean, for a better sense of what I'm dealing with, I should probably go down low, but... the top layer pretty much set. Need to peel off everything on the bottom here. We got a 3x3 with one protruding. That was correct. And then we want one protruding over here. Yeah, because it's 5 wide before you get into these arms, so to speak. Anyway, let's punch this out. Then, good so far. And then, is it like an isolated diagonal piece? Yes, it is. So we'll take out these 2 columns. Good. That looks good. And then you need to peel off the sides. Minus 1 block. And then we'll do that on the other end as well. Same kind of configuration. There we go. And then we use the zip caster. Want to take a closer look at my masterpiece? I want to take a closer look at my masterpiece, yes. It's a pretty close look. Unless there's a way to do it closer. That's okay, we can always zip around a bit to see if there's any other kind of bonus. No, let's just go. I think it totally is a turtle. Don't forget to admire your handiwork, yeah. It does look very, very cool. Didn't really make much use of the zipcaster here, but, well, just take the victory and live with it. Interestingly, I don't think it... Yeah, given our experience with the first attempt, it does not fail you immediately if you make a mistake along the way. You just have to discover that for yourself. Okay. Let's grab this thing here. Tickets for later. And we'll just clear out all the space that we can. Likely finish with the boss later today if we're able. Okay, nothing here. And we should have enough cash at this point to clear everything, particularly once we have actually done away with the boss at the end. There's one level to go up there. We'll get to that once we also eradicate everything else. Yeah, there's one level down there. That's the one I'm looking for. Oh. Let's toss accurately from time to time so we can clear out some space. And there we go. Excellent. Another freebie scroll here. The Meta Clan. Interesting look at Big Men's family. So the nice thing about collecting these scrolls in this game is that you can paste all of them onto your in-game locker, in your locker room. And that's what I've done with the map. In fact, I do have the map in my locker because, of course, we love maps around here. But I'll probably do the same here with the Manta Clan. Eating plankton. Fine family tradition. We will, of course, go back to clear that stage that I left behind on the map over there, but first let's see how we're doing for cash. As we try to clear out as much of the map as we can. Okay, there we go. Collectible. A lot of stuff to collect in the lobby afterwards, but we'll get there. And we'll bust this down, and yeah. Very happy to find another one of those. Not that we know what the gold records do yet, but we'll get there. Pack of cards, really my favorite kind of loot, given how great the table turf battle game is. At this time, I'm level 23 in table turf. I'm saving some of the level 3 AI opponents in it in case I do a table turf stream after I'm finished with the campaign. I think it would be fun to stream at least one session to talk about different setups and strategy. So we have some of that in video at least. Partly so I can review it afterwards to remember what it is I'm doing. But table turf is amazing fun. And I haven't really even gotten that deep into the deck building aspect of it, partly because, you know, there's still so many cards left to collect. Okay, that's done. Yeah, let's sweep the map. No, let's do this one while it's here, because we largely swept this area. And then we'll find a path to perfect penmanship. Then unlock whatever else we can. Looks like we're making pretty good time in terms of getting World 3 and 4 done today. You must activate every splat switch within time limit to reach the goal. Octobrush or ink brush. Leave a thin trail of ink, yeah. It's the same reward. I don't always like to go to recommendation, but let's do the fat brush. Ink consumption is a little bit different. Oh, whoops, nope. Let's actually watch where we're going. That's kind of important. I thought that was a transparent panel for some reason, and that's not the case. Where's the last panel, then? Oh, okay, we never inked this. Okay, so we're going to be under a 30-second time limit. I see. I see what's going on. That once we enter the arena, we have 30 seconds, so let's scout. Very important to scout. Oh, hey, it's the... I think it's a number 3 or something, right? Or is it something else? It looks like some kind of Splatoon 3 related design. But I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to rotate around and see. Because that's a lot of flashing lights. I don't know where a landing point is going to be. Maybe it's in a glowing spot. And of course we'll have to go for the ink refills as we go along, otherwise we'll just expend too much time with the recharge, so... Yeah, I guess the reason... I mean, ink brush is kind of graded at an equivalent difficulty if you look at the cost, but... it would leave a thinner line at the expense of different ink consumption. 9 seconds, we did make a wrong turn here and there. Okay, 6 seconds. Oh yeah, that's easy. What is it? It's not the number 3, it's a fish. Even small fry was bouncing. Ah, that wasn't that bad at all, actually. Pretty easy to track. I must say, the difficulty curve has been really all over the place. I mean, partly because it often depends on your comfort with the weapon that's involved in a given stage, and the weapon that you select, which may or may not be a fit for the stage mechanics. But sometimes we have just a devil of a time, and then sometimes we have stages that are an absolute breeze, and it's been much more of a variety show than anything, not really about difficulty progression, more a campaign that's all about the versatility of the itemization all over Splatoon. It's always interesting to see a new Splatoon campaign kind of catch up to some of the ideas and weapons that were present in the multiplayer. Whoop. Anyway, laugh it up, Fuzzball. And we've got a couple of other points remaining to clear up on the far side, but let's just go for the balloon now and see what the route is going to be. Oops. Now, where did that go? Oh, wow, that's pretty far. Quite far, in fact. That's okay. We know what it is, and we're not going to spend time breaking a crate next time. So, let's make sure we unlock the remaining blob first, if we can find it. Just so we don't have that obstruction to deal with later. Should there be some kind of rude surprise. Just gotta make sure everything's clear. Oops. Okay. Wonder if there's anything interesting on this platform. Surely there must be. Nope, he's just gonna run around. Nothing to see here. Alright, let's get back to that balloon then and make another run at it. Now that we know which way to face. Which is a rather important thing to establish. Yeah, we just need to go for it right away. Oh, submarine here is slowing me down a bit. Okay. Okay, kind of a grand tour so far. Where's the last one? There we go. Pop that, and then kind of a full circuit. Get above that, and above that. It really is a full circuit. That's the scroll. Number 15, so we're still missing a number 13 somewhere, possibly another balloon challenge. Mana wardrobe. No photography or influencers allowed, ever. Now, I believe this shop actually is open now, but it's a bunch of old receipts from a time in which they weren't. Well, all's fair. Let's open up the other slot. Maybe a separate scroll will just present itself. As we try to clear the whole map. Who knows what we have not yet uncovered. Let's take a look at the map, though. I've seen most of this at this point. Most of the site, so... The green spots do match the locations of interest, where there's still something to dig up. As I just realized today, after not having paid attention to the green indicators on the map, despite it being clearly labeled as area of interest. Alright, small fry, take me somewhere. Oh, there we go. Will you look at that? And Sheldon expanding his Ammo Knight's empire. What's next for the so-called Arsenal Ambassador? Losing to me at Table Turk Battle this one. Yeah, we can probably pick up the rest. And then probably finish up on the boss today. As long as we have enough of the budget left over to open up the Zone 5 pipe, which should be able to do. I mean, we've opened up the other one. Now, why is he over here? Probably because there's something above him. Over here. There we go. And then one more spot up ahead. Okay. What have you got? Great, that should be everything. And yeah, so in some of the previous maps we were still missing one or two items to dig up, but we'll go back for that at some other point. No need to do that on stream right now, I think. That's a fairly trivial mop-up. Let's fight somebody. The pursuit of the precious. My precious. Okay, let's do it. Wait, let's check upgrades first. 2 Salmonids. We can get splat bombs if we want something that's a little bit of a change from small fry, but Do we want that? Oh, I don't know. Oh, interestingly enough, though, if you unlock this part of a tree, you get this as an upgrade without having to cash in any more salmonids, so let's just do it. And because that already kind of automatically unlocks, so that's actually a good incentive to grab splat bombs now, because then you can also get the quick respawn if small fry gets nuked. And actually, all of the bombs are available to me now, which I didn't realize. Which perhaps makes the splat bomb slightly less urgent. Better curling bombs. Ooh. Well, we don't want to overspend here, so we can actually save up for some of the later upgrades, but who cares? We're going to overspend. Particularly because the other bombs are so inexpensive here. Let's unlock the full arsenal. And then we'll just do the rest as we go. Yeah, because that'll knock me down to... Oh, that's actually spending quite a bit. Let's leave that for now. Until we collect some more. Need some more upgrade points to work with. In case I want to save up for anything big. But, you know, we are going to get everything. So, not too concerned about that. Let's do the boss. Yeah, because I've got 3 different bomb types now. Everything but the good old splat bombs. Not that we've been using the sub-weapons much at all over the course of the campaign, but you never know. They might add some spice and variety. Unauthorized personnel prohibited beyond this point. Now, I don't believe I'm authorized, so we'll just have to bust our way in and fight our way to the exit. Now, this will be the last thing I do on the stream, probably. But let's see how it goes. And then we'll continue with Worlds 5 and 6 sometime later this week, probably in a day or two. I'll be streaming as much of this as I can. After the treasure, you have excellent taste. So yeah, I guess Big Man is going to be the next boss after this. The cold shoulder routine. Fellow's not used to dealing with silent protagonists here. Okay, so yes, this was a shark that was foreshadowed by the scroll earlier that showed you the shark, basically. Okay, let's figure out his pattern. Yeah, we just need to not be in his way as he does the line attack. Splashdown can wait until we're a little closer. Strike from below? Oh yeah, that's just like Maws in Salmon Run, so I'm not concerned. Really not concerned. We might actually go for Small Fry attack, in fact. Except Small Fry is going to totally miss. Whoa. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, it totally is a setup for throwing bombs in. So Small Fry can pick away at his tongue or something. Oh, no. Alright, let's not stand right in the line. Let's figure this out. You're totally supposed to toss a bomb into him. Into the shark here. Then let's stand out of the way. Need to open up some lateral movement. Standard attack, we need to kind of dodge out of it. Okay, nope, not quite. Just miss. Let's get in close and just try to ink him up again. Yeah, it's kind of like the Splatoon attack, in fact. That line attack. It's exactly, it's got quite a bit of height to it. No, it's not weird that we want to throw something in there. You can stop giving me hints now. Let's try to ink him up. Let's try to get in close around the perimeter. Okay, small fry's gonna get in there. Splash down. Okay, Shiver fell off. Where's Shiver? There we go. Phase 1 down. Well, in typical Nintendo fashion, I'm expecting 3 hits to do the trick. Very tough for an appetizer. The shark is Shiver's master. Let's finish this. Just a rehearsal, you say? Oh, got to get out of the way. Yeah, I just need to dodge and heal up. Okay, we got a bit of a tempest coming. Gotta probably dodge those as they swirl their way over. Whoa, okay. Okay, got small fry in there. Excellent. Splash down again. I don't know if splash down's actually going to do very much for me here, but we'll poke Shiver her a little bit, and there we go. Very nice, Agent 3. Well, I am looking forward to the inevitable hard modes for when they have some expansion content, just like they did back in Octo Expansion with Splatoon 2. Because these bosses are fun, but definitely, I think, have room to grow even further. And I say that even as this guy's totally punishing my movement here. Whoa, no. That's okay, we're probably going to be checkpointed to phase 3. Think you'll be okay without upgrading your hero gear? Yes, I think I'll be okay. I know I can spin on it, but I do not care. Whoop. Although the recovery from damage might be a very useful upgrade to have. Whoa, no. Okay, phase 3 is going to be a totally different pattern here. Oh, except small fry is going to hit accurately. Great. Go splash down again, and it's going to get away. Clean itself off. That's okay. Poke him again. That's 3 hits, should be it. In typical Nintendo fashion, so much for Shiver. But you haven't seen the last of Deep Cut. We're getting a screenshot of that, of course we are. I don't think I got a kill shot on the previous boss, but that's okay. We can always replay for that. Now, we will be wrapping up pretty shortly, but first we'll take this as a consolation prize. And we'll add it to our collection back in World 1. Good work, Agent 3. We found treasure. Agent 1, good to hear your voice. Still locked in some kind of room. Ah, you've woken from your hibernation, have you, cuttlefish? I bet there's some kind of crossover with... Oh, of course it's Mr. Grizz. I was about to say, I bet there's some kind of crossover with the Salmon Run, because it is the same voice as you hear on the radio when you're hired to do work for Grizzco. And it was a mammal expansion, so I think it was always kind of the expectation that the Grizzco boss would show up. Because it was already very suspicious that you were working for Grizzco back in Splatoon 2. But yeah, it's about what I expected for what will probably be the final boss or something in the final boss sequence. Although I was kind of hoping for maybe a furry version of DJ Octavio. Anyway, that is all we're doing for today. And we'll probably leave you with that. We will look at the archive first for World 4. Because we've completed this part of the story, and we now want to see what happened on humanity's final day. And again, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I will scroll through it and possibly comment. And yeah, so it's going to be not a generational ship, but a generational enclave, I guess. And trapped in their cavernous reality that they've created for themselves with squid LEDs inside Alterna. And then this is where they construct a rocket ship. And then... oh. Okay. So humanity doesn't actually escape the destruction of civilization. When they try to launch the rocket, they destroy themselves. So that's interesting. Because the implication prior to this was that humanity may have gone extinct and may have escaped. There was definitely some kind of spaceship involved, but no matter what it was that happened, somehow they managed to leave their cats behind. And possibly a bear. So, I think this is our first overt acknowledgement that humanity, or the last civilization of a once prosperous humanity, managed to destroy itself in its hubris and in its desperation to escape its last refuge. And those few who escaped the carnage would soon follow it into death. Hence the takeover of Squid civilization. So, unless we're told otherwise later on in logs 5 and 6. Alright. Let's reset the camera to something reasonable. That's going to be it for today's stream. We will leave you here and we'll send you on to a raid elsewhere. Like I said, we will try to continue with the campaign later in the week. The schedule will kind of be posted day to day on Discord as I know what it is. And we'll definitely try to wrap it up by the weekend. Around the weekend, we will be back to doing more Mario Maker in 7MMC. The 7th Mario Maker celebration, which started week 1 last week and is ongoing. And we'll have some other things coming. I'm going to get to return to Monkey Island as soon as I'm able to. It does come out about a week from now. And we'll see how soon we can deal it in. We've got lots on the schedule. Hopefully I can actually stream as much as I would like to. And in due course, at least finish this game. So, thank you so much for joining me. We'll scan around for a raid in just a moment. And thank you so much for following along. We'll see you around. Have a wonderful week ahead of you. Enjoy playing or making or watching Twitch or whatever it is you do. And I'll see you at our next destination. Until then, have a wonderful time and fare thee well.